Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of 911 Health and Fitness. Today we'll be discussing those two words, health and fitness, how we define them, how we see them, and of course we'll be doing it 911 style. All right, before we get started, a shout out to Lieutenant Jason Hernandez. He's a friend of the show. Thanks for your support. All right, as I see it, health and fitness is a two-lane highway to longevity and a pain-free active life, absent of chronic disease. So those three elements are longevity, pain-free, and absent of chronic disease. So that's what we're looking for in our definition of health and fitness. If you had to choose one, and you don't have to, you would definitely choose health. Now, I spent the first 2 years of this program strictly just doing diet with no exercise to prove that your health is based on the dietary choices you make. The last episode, I put out the 911 diet guidelines. Check it out, and that'll cover that aspect. Today, we're gonna cover more of the fitness aspect, but we're gonna also give you the elements to make sure that you can quantify that you are healthy by 11 benchmarks that we look at. Before we get too far into it, we're gonna look at 4 states that you can be in. Number 1, which is where we all wanna be, we wanna be healthy and we wanna be fit. You can also be healthy and unfit. You can be fit and unhealthy. And of course, the last one, unhealthy and unfit. Now, important to the discussion here is that we are not judging ourselves or anyone else by looking at them and making a decision based on looks. The way you look should be a byproduct of the system that you're using, not the goal. Now, that doesn't mean you can't ever look at yourself and begin to assess strengths and weaknesses, but looks is a byproduct. Not too many people are chasing the way they look, and in that, they can bypass real fitness and real health. That's why I don't like the words in shape and out of shape. Now, I use them because those words are so part of our culture. I'm in shape, I'm out of shape, but that's really describing a look. And we don't want to be paying attention to the look. Again, it's the byproduct, not the goal. And the reason that is because you can mimic looking healthy and looking fit without being either one. For example, here's a photo of me where I look fit, maybe even look healthy, but I'm really neither. Now, in this next picture, it's clear to see that I'm unhealthy and unfit, but really both of them, with some slight differences in the looks, are the same. And here's the third picture where I consider myself healthy, but unfit still. Although I am on the way, I'm halfway through getting there, I still consider myself a -5. That means I still got 5 years to get to what I call baseline. So health, let's define health. The way I define health is the general sense of well-being. That's a general sense of well-being in your spirit, soul, body, and mind. And if you attain that, you should be feeling good. You should be absent of chronic disease. And of course, a medical checkup should confirm that all your tests are within normal limits. Let's quickly take a look at the 11 most important indicators that I feel that you should be constantly monitoring. At least the first 7 you can do yourself. The last 4 will have to be done by a medical profession, but these first 7 should be something that's on your radar on a constant basis, or at least a regular basis. First off, your BMI should be below 25. I get a lot of pushback on this, but if you're not a professional or semi-professional athlete or someone who is making money specifically being outside of their BMI, then there's really no reason, because you're probably sacrificing longevity, future pain-free life because of it. Now, getting into a fun one right away, stool frequency. Now, this is all over the place. When you do your research, you'll see that they say anything from 3 times a day to 3 times a week is normal. I looked a little bit further into it, and really you should be going at least once a day to 3 times a day. That is gonna be your healthiest. And then also a number 3 or 4 on the Bristol stool scale. So you can just Google that and see the Bristol stool scale and see where 3 and 4 looks like. And then that's something you can keep an eye on. Urination, consensus is about 6 to 8 times on average of urination per day. And you're looking for a transparent, from a pale to a transparent yellow. If it's yellow, they still consider it normal, but they're saying that you're probably needing some more water at that point. Your blood pressure, they want everybody at 120/80 and below. And that's easy. You can purchase one of those blood pressure cuffs and then just have it at home, and every once in a while you can check it out just to make sure that your blood pressure is staying within normal limits. Your heart rate, they want your heart rate resting at between 60 to 80. Now some people get a little bit lower than 60 because maybe they're a little bit better in shape, but typically your resting heart rate between 60 and 80. They want your oxygen saturation, it means the oxygen that's flowing around your blood, between 95 to 100%. Again, very important. When you're in the lower range, you definitely want to see a medical professional to see what's going on there. The glucose test. Very simple. You buy a glucometer that's checking the amount of glucose that's in your blood, and they want that number below 100 if you've been fasting for at least 8 hours. That means you haven't eaten in 8 hours. If you take the test and it's been at least 2 hours since you eat, they don't want that number above 140. And if you take it soon after eating, they still don't want that number above 180. And again, if any of those numbers are off, you want to contact your medical professional. Now, these next 4 tests are something you're gonna have to get a medical professional, draw some blood, have it tested, and then go over it with them. But your hemoglobin A1C is a better way to check your blood sugar levels, and that's gonna be, when they check it, it's gonna look back and give you an average over the last 2 to 3 months, and they want that below 5.6%. Triglycerides, they want below 160. LDL, they want below 160, and HDL above 60. All right, fit is defined as the following. We have the following criteria that we want to meet. We want our BMI, again, below 25. Pay attention to your BMI. Full range of motion. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. This is going to be the most difficult aspect of being fit, is attaining full range of motion. And we're going to define full range of motion as the flexibility, mobility, and balance that a gymnast would need to be able to compete. That's what we need. And we're not going to confuse that with the skill level of a gymnast, just the flexibility, mobility, and balance needed for a competitive gymnast. So this is the assessment that I've been able to make. For every 10 years of life that you have not been specifically working on flexibility, mobility, and balance, you're going to need 2 years of work to be able to recoup. So for example, if you're 20 years old, you're going to need 4 years to get full range of motion. If you're 50, it's gonna take you 10 years to get full range of motion. So it's quite a journey. People wanna hear things like it's gonna take 6 weeks or 6 months to a year. It's not gonna happen. I've been working hard at it now for the last 3 years, and that number is pretty accurate. Now, everybody's a little bit different, so it might be less, it might be more, depending. I've been in 2 major life-threatening accidents that really tousled my body, so that may be factors that work against me. I was also a gymnast earlier in life, so that probably helped me. So it just depends on where you fall, but a good average is 2 years for every 10 years of life. So for example, if I were to get a 10-year-old and start teaching them gymnastics, and my goal was just for them to have flexibility and mobility, it would usually take about 2 years, depending on the child, to be able to get to a point where he would be at that competitive level, at least in the flexibility and the mobility. So that's the kind of assessment that we're using to dictate how long it's going to take an individual on average to reach full range of motion. Now, this is one of the most important and overlooked elements for fitness in today's world. Everybody is doing just about everything else. I mean, they'll run, they'll CrossFit, they'll Orange Theory themselves to death. I mean, everybody is doing everything. And at the same time, anytime I assess them when it comes time to flexibility, mobility, and balance, just the level of difference is out of proportion. There's no reason for you to be doing so much in one particular area and then ignore this particular area, which is the one that's going to take you the longest. Everything else in the triangle matrix, there's 9 keys for staying young and living healthy. The only one that's going to take you years and years of work is key number 4, which is flexibility, mobility, and balance, and it's the one that everybody is overlooking. So this is where I push people incessantly on paying attention. If you're already above the mark in these other metrics, then why keep pushing harder in that area and ignore this area? The other ones are fairly easy. Now, the minimum that I recommend is everybody do at least 60 minutes a day, 6 days a week. I do more than that. Now, there's a certain point to where even when you do more, you can't push your body. You can't push your body faster. I've tried. Believe me, you just end up hurting yourself, and it ends up being something that then sets you back in a particular area. Max, I would imagine 3 hours, a day, minimum 1 hour of stretching, mobility, and flexibility. Moving on to the strength component, we've got 2 methods to do this: weight-bearing exercises and body weight exercises. I like them both. We're gonna use both of them. A lot of people wanna ignore weight-bearing exercises, but it's critically important, especially as you get older, to fight off osteoporosis. So weights are a great tool. You can use weights, you can use kettlebells, slam balls. There are different methods to do this, but weights are simple, they're effective, and they're quick, so there's no reason not to use them. There are 4 specific exercises that I do twice a week in about 30 minutes, and you're done. That's the squat. I'm only squatting 70 pounds, 3 sets of 15. On the bench, 75 pounds, 3 sets of 20. Shoulder press, 20 pounds, 3 sets of 15. And on the curl, 15 pounds, 3 sets of 15. I do that in about 30 minutes, twice a week, and I'm done. And believe me, the results are incredible at this low weight. 30 minutes quick. It's a consistency though. You got to do this the rest of your life. Body weight exercises. The ones that I've picked are the pull-ups, the dips, the push-ups, handstand push-ups supported against the wall, and the bar hang. You'll see the amount that I recommend there. I do what's called a ladder reps, and we only ladder rep up to 5. So if you ladder rep up to 5, that gives you 15 repetitions. You're doing that 4 times a week and you're done. Cardio and your endurance is also very simple. It's 2 to 3 times a week, a 40-minute walk, brisk, or it could be defined as vigorous and energetic. Guys, this is a very simple program. It takes commitment, it takes not stopping, and you can make it till the day you die in a healthy, full of life situation. The whole idea here is to get out of here in the healthiest possible way. Coming up on age 55 on March 2nd, I'm telling you, this system has transformed my life. I can't imagine not being in the shape I am today, full of life, full of energy. It's transformed the way I'm able to do my work for the fire department. I'm able to play with my kids who are now 2 and 3 years old, child number 5 and number 6. I play with my grandkids. I'm full of energy. The guys that come out of the academy when I'm training rookies, there's no difference. We're hanging out. We're at the same level. It's incredible, and it's a simple process. Your diet, your exercise, and then concentrating though on what exactly you need to do. It's the specifics, it's easy, it's to the point. Let me know what you think about it in the comments. Hit the subscribe button. Don't forget, on my Instagram, I post every single meal. I'm a little bit behind on the Instagram because I got banned from Instagram. They said I was spamming. So I don't know what happened there, but as soon as I can, I'll get the rest of the meals up there. I post my weight, I post my meals to help you guys as much as I can, giving you the most information, the most accurate information that makes a real difference in your lives. All right, guys, till the next time, stay safe, stay healthy.